Before I go to bed, I just want to run some things about religion that I don't like. The first major thing that I can think of that I don't like about any kind of religion is that when religion controlled the power structure of the world, we called it the Middle Ages. And if religion wasn't around, we'd be about 1,000 years more advanced. So people in 2019 that cling to religion that strongly are just a bunch of cunts that need to shut the fuck up and just deal with the fact that religion is evil. I don't like the fact that whenever I meet a Christian or any kind of theist, they're usually some kind of dickhead, or they're just messed up in drugs, and they don't see that the problem is that they forego logic in order to have faith. Islam may as well be a terrorist organization, but if you were to look at the book of Deuteronomy, you would presume that Judaism and Christianity were also terrorist organizations. And most of the terror that comes through in the United States is from white conservative Christians, and a lot of liberal Christians have a lot of traits that I don't like the wiggerism, the white boy hip-hopism of dropping the N-word every 2 seconds, which is just awkward for the black community, including myself, and I'm not black. Religion kind of makes it seem like it's okay to be narcissistic and only love and like people that are like you. That includes most people that believe in God. The naivete of things, the things were, well, Noah's flood. Well, no, there's not marine mammals in the mountains of Ararat because of a flood or anything like that. The landscape changes and has changed for thousands of years. There was no flood. You're confusing flood with rising sea levels, which is completely different. I don't like how atheism has sort of become a religion with people, so they're like adapting some of the bad behaviors of Christians, which is pretty much preaching one thing and doing another, or like putting out good vibes without evidence or bad vibes in order to just cause shit to go bad so that they can come in and say atheism can correct it, or Christianity can correct it, or agnosticism. People kind of treat their way of life like a religion, and all religions tend to be about self-worship, even Buddhists, especially Buddhists in a lot of history. So, like, the murderous rage of any group tends to be like religion. And to me, in the United States and in the first world, as we see the separation between the first and the third world within the United States growing deeper, we're seeing a lot of people worshiping capitalism like a religion. So there's that aspect of it that I don't like. And the whole hypocrisy of going along with like wanting less capitalism while only hanging around with your bourgeoisie or petite bourgeoisie clique, while ignoring the proletariat and who you fuck and who you date and who you befriend, irritates me to no end. Like religion irritates me. The lack of humility in good people, the call-out culture has religious-y overtones. The whole idea of communism and cults of personality that's got nothing to do with what Karl Marx was even talking about have sort of a religious connotation to it, like putting your faith or your trust in politicians completely has a religious connotation to it. Direct democracy would be better. We don't need a monarchy, even if that monarch is Jesus, especially. The whole cherry-picking nature of religious people. Well, they take the good parts and ignore the bad parts. You see this with a lot of Democrat Christians. Or they just, like, are stupid and they just, you know, use their Bible to justify the worship of money or the displays of money or racism when there's no white people in the fucking Bible. And that alone makes me an atheist. But there's all sorts of other shit too. I think that the selfishness of human beings and the suffering of other living beings, especially humans, is enough to make anybody an atheist. And if not, you are not looking things up on Google, which makes you sound like a 7-year-old or just a fucking schizophrenic.